Facebook crashed.
Don't know.
Don't know. I'm back. Sorry about that.
Crasharama.
Yeah, that's crazy. I don't think we've had that ever.
We have never had the full hard just boot you out. You're crashed. You're gone.
Yeah.
And now you're back.
Is it on? Do you see it?
I
It's
see
back?
it.
I don't know if anyone.
There's only 2 people back.
Yeah.
Sorry. Hey, Angel, we just totally crashed. I don't know what happened. But
Yeah, Facebook crashed on my phone. Like, it literally just shut off.
it was crazy. Like the entire app closed out?
The entire app closed out, yeah. Like, there's no
Wow.
description or anything for this. I literally
Weird.
just quickly turned it back on and did it. Not sure what happened there.
Monday happened.
Monday.
But we're back together. We made it out.
We did it. You know, it is. It's like a metaphor for all that. There'll be lots of ups and downs. Things won't always go the way we want them to, but we'll be back together.
That's right. There you go.
Is it Diana Ross who used to say, someday we'll be together? Someday.
We'll be together.
See?
So I just heard back from, let's see.
Who'd you hear back from?
Let's see. Oh, here we go. I'm going to check in here.
Here we go.
Hey, guys, only 50 of you guys are back now. And 49 is it?
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. It was...
I don't know, guys.
Maybe it was my bad singing or my bad dad jokes, but Facebook went, nope, you're done.
Facebook was like, adios. Welcome back, guys. Sorry about that.
Yeah, seriously.
That was the sad emoji that I just saw.
Yeah, for us too. Not sure what happened. We just got completely kicked off, and Facebook just crashed. It like
Couldn't handle all that awesome.
couldn't handle it. It's like, whoa, that's a lot of Spiderwick fairy.
You know, it's funny, Molly. When you said that, Molly just said maybe they're catching up with Ange from playing Indiana Jones a couple weeks back. It's the Facebook police. The funny thing is, I was thinking, oh my gosh, was I just playing like copyrighted music? No, I don't think I was. I was playing classical. So.
Yeah, who knows?
Okay, guys. So T, you are still painting away.
I'm still painting away. The painting hasn't really gone anywhere. I'm just painting the shadows of petals. How's that for the title of a romance novel?
Welcome back, guys.
The Shadows of Petals.
Thank you for being patient with us, even though
We
Facebook
hardly
just totally kicked us out.
Yeah, so this was like it wasn't like the feed stopped, like the entire app was just gone. Like my phone went back to the home.
Is it the slide whistle?
Could be the slide whistle. My phone went right back to the home screen, and there was no Facebook. I had to restart the whole thing. Anyway, we're here. We're all here now.
Thank you, guys.
We're back. Thank you guys for coming back.
For those, somebody was at, where's the cowbell? Cowbell's up in the attic. We've got one of those too.
She's not lying.
I love percussion. I secretly think I'm Stevie Nicks.
It's not really a secret anymore.
No.
You had a friend that you used to work with at NBC who was a big Stevie Nicks fan.
Oh, heck yeah.
And you therefore have a Stevie Nicks story.
Yes.
You have a really nice Stevie Nicks. Let's
Is
give
it-
a little love to Stevie.
Of course. Well, Stevie Nicks, a friend of mine is a huge Stevie Nicks fan. My friend Susie is a, like the kind of person that when she hears Stevie Nicks or Fleetwood Mac, like she will just burst into tears. Like she has that deep of a connection to Stevie Nicks and her music.
Whoa.
And this is somebody that when I was doing makeup at NBC, my friend Susie did hair. And so Susie got called. We would do makeup and hair for Access Hollywood. For those of you who ever watch Access Hollywood or like the red carpet at the Academy Awards, Nancy O'Dell's one of the hosts. Nancy was doing an interview with Stevie Nicks. It got booked. And Susie got to go backstage during the interview with Stevie. And she had written her this amazing, heartfelt, like the deep emotional letter about how much she loved her and why her music meant so much to her.
Okay.
And she left it for Stevie in Stevie's dressing room.
Okay.
And at one point they leave and they come back in.
Stevie,
and
when you say they.
So my friends Susie and Nancy leave and they come back to the dressing room later and Stevie's in there reading the letter.
Oh.
And
I don't know what to...
Susie totally freaks. Like, she's like, oh my gosh,
gotta
this
go.
is like, I'm freaking out, right? She can barely speak. And Stevie like stands up and Nancy says like, this is Susie. She left that letter for you. And Stevie is so touched. She gets up. She gives Susie this like massive, embracing Stevie Nicks magical hug.
Mm-hmm.
And then is like, would you like to try on one of the shawls? Would you like to try on one of my shawls? So Susie got to put on a Stevie Nicks shawl with Stevie.
Tell me they twirled.
Like spin around
They
and
spun
twirl.
around.
And it was unbelievable and magic and amazing.
They put on elevator boots and spun around. There it is.
Yes, this is my friend Susie. The same one I got in trouble for when we were trying to take pictures of the cast of Friends on the red carpet for the NBC anniversary show. And I got up on the edge of like one of those metal railings that hold people back.
You guys were literally like the paparazzi.
We were like the paparazzi. But this was before people were taking photos of everything like they do now.
The rules were really strict.
You could not take pictures of the talent.
If you worked on the show.
If you worked on the show,
no.
It was very rare that you had to like really bond with somebody and then be like, can I get a picture with you? Like, I think I only took a photo with like
a few, literally all your years.
James Taylor.
You have James Taylor, Bill Clinton. You only have a few photos.
Yeah.
Despite all the people that you worked with and met.
Yeah, yeah. And and so here we were at this big red carpet event, and my friend Susie, again, this is the one I used to get in all the trouble with. She was a huge fan of Friends. So I said, give me your camera. I'll get some really good photos. So I proceeded to try and stand up on one of those little metal railings, the ones they put like, blocking kind of traffic and stuff. You have to wait behind the metal railing. And I got up on it and I knocked the entire light over onto the red carpet.
And you
getting the photo of like Matt LeBlanc and Jennifer Aniston and the whole thing.
Oh my God. And then you got called in. Your boss called you into the office.
Oh my gosh.
And she said...
Wait. Rochelli just said, how can you paint listening to that voice? I hope that is not a mean comment.
Like, what is that? I don't even know what that means.
If it is...
You're on the wrong Facebook page.
Yeah.
Go find another page. That's kind of odd.
Yeah. Yeah, shake your head, because I got called into my boss's office. And she was like, were you taking photos on the red carpet? And I said, yes. And she said, can I see them? And I showed them to her, and she goes, those are really good pictures.
And you're like, I only take the best.
Said, I only take the best pictures.
If I'm going to do it and get reprimanded.
Oh my gosh. Let's see. Boop, 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 boop. Yeah, we do kill trolls here.
Is that what that was? A little trolling?
I don't know. It could have been.
Well, it's a sign.
Thanks, Valerie. The only trolls allowed are mythical beasts.
Yes, the ones we're painting.
See, now you got me all freaked out.
Don't be freaked out.
Aww.
Don't be freaked out. If that's what it is, we can go back and look at the all this stuff gets saved, and it saves the comments, and if that's what it was, Ange, I can just block that person.
No, I know, honey.
I've had to block people on my site before. It happens.
I mean, come on. Does anybody like their voice?
No.
Is anybody like, I love my voice.
I literally listen to these just enough to make sure the recording's okay,
Exactly.
and then I just like, oh my God, who is that hillbilly Kevin Costner guy talking? Oh my God, it's me. And I just got that kind of voice.
Maybe it was meant, how can you concentrate with me yapping away?
Yeah, we'll give it...
Emily C. Martin's regulating work. She's on it.
Okay. Emily C. Martin. So I'm just doing, if you're tuning in, these ruffles, it's tedious. And so I'm just kind of going in with a mix, a very kind of taupey color, I'd say. And just kind of reinforcing the lines. in paint now that were once in pencil.
You guys.
To kind of keep it looking good.
How are you?
Good.
Awesome. How was school?
Good.
Good. What? Yeah, so cute. So take a look at that pile right there with the masks.
Whoa.
We got some.
Our friend Angel, who's listening right now,
Sent
and
us
Lexi and Liam sent all of that to us.
That's awesome.
Angel, you should see So's face. She just lost her mind when she saw the Marauders mask map.
Yeah, that's very generous. Thank you. All right, Ange, any questions while I'm painting? I'm kind of in the zone now. This is actually good that even though this is like a painting for really, as I said earlier, kind of demonstration purposes, it's good because I got a lot of painting that I've got to do here in the next week or so. So this will be helpful. So we got any questions?
Yeah. Oh, here's one. Let's see. I'm trying to. Is tedium how you separate professionals from hobbyists?
Wow, that's an interesting question. I don't know if tedium is the word I would use. How would I separate a professional from a hobbyist? Well, I think in the very simplest sense, a professional is someone who gets paid to do it, right? I mean, that's it. So you can be a professional illustrator for, very small press or a online, I think if money exchanges hands and you're being paid for what it is you're able to do, that would make you a professional. So, and I think that's the difference between someone who's like, I'm painting for myself because I love to paint and draw, and I have no desire to sell it. I just, paint it and post it and share it, or I don't. Versus someone who's like, I'm working with a client, and the client, I painted this fairy, and the client says, can you make its wings blue or what have you? I think that's probably more of a professional. So I don't know if it has to do with dedication or I think I used to think the better you were at your craft, the more successful you would be, but that doesn't always work that way. There's people who are technically in various stages technically of their skill set, who may see varying degrees of success or fame or whatever it is they're yearning for.
What size detail brush is that?
Good question. This is a 1.
1.
It's a
Do you
1 right
finish
there.
your work with varnish or anything? I've
Yes. Oh yeah. Yeah. This all gets
clear coat.
Yeah, I can show you in just a minute here. I just want to finish this paint before it dries out. It's almost dried out almost out on me, and I just want to finish up using it here in some spots before
Jill Suzanne Shipman said, I can't remember, do you use synthetic brushes with gouache instead of natural bristles?
I buy cheap brushes, Jill. Let me see what this is made of. I'm guessing this is synthetic, Jill. I don't think it's natural hair. And it's because it's just I'm so rough on them. I don't really take the best of care of them. And they do. I rub out and lift, and if a little bit of paint dries on it, it does have acrylic, so it can be a little rough on the bristles. So I tend to buy not super high-end brushes. I have a couple, but I don't use them that often. That's just me. I want to say one last thing on the professional versus... Because I get this, and in fact I have one, and I'm going to write the person back. But I got I get on a regular clip, someone who's an author and they've self-published, and often I'll get an email saying, "Can you illustrate my self-published book? You inspired me to write the story, or can you blurb my self-published book?" I get these fairly, we get, I don't know how many a year, 5, 6 of them a year at least. But I feel like because we're a little more visible right now, because we're going on daily, the email, everything's ticked up, right? The emails have ticked up, everything else. And, I would never discredit anyone for self-publishing or doing that. But, as a professional, I get paid to do what I do. It's how I make my living. So, as excited as I am that someone has self-published or is about to self-publish their book.
So the kind answer is no, I'm not illustrating.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to illustrate your book for you, because I make a certain amount of money. That's how I make my living. And also, that would go, blurbing is always kind of a strange ask anyway, because usually it's a weird, will you blurb my book? And it's like, I don't have time to barely read my own, everything, my projects.
I think blurbs happen usually very often between friends.
Yeah, it's a little more organic.
Or when a publisher sometimes reaches out and says that it's usually a publisher you have a relationship with.
Yes.
That says, we would love to have your seal of approval or your kind words about this book, or just your thoughts on it.
And I do get approached for blurbs by publishers where they're like, "Hey, listen, I know you don't know this author, but it's very similar to Spiderwick, or it reminded us of Wandla, and so that on that thinking, we're reaching out to you," which I totally get.
Like, you're the fantasy guy, so a lot of times people hit you up with fantasy.
I have been, yeah, definitely. And it's, like I said, for me, there's got to be some kind of personal relation for me somehow to do it. Anyway, it's all I'll leave that there. But
if you, let's see, Hernan Kowalski wants to know, if you had to collaborate with another painter on a piece, who would you choose?
Holy cow! I had to collaborate with another painter.
Soph just signed on, by the way.
Oh my gosh.
Looks great, Papa John.
Thank you, Soph. One of my favorite living painters, because gosh, I love Norman Rockwell, Maxwell Parrish, and Arthur Rackham, blah, blah, blah. One of my favorite, and this guy, Ange, is a painter. Like, this guy paints. I feel like I'm a drawer who colors. Okay. I like to draw, and I put color on it. He's a painter. His name is Kadir Nelson.
Nice.
Kadirnelson. One of my favorite living painters right now. He is so incredibly talented, and he is living the illustrator's dream. If I had a book handy, I'd pull it up to show you guys right now. Maybe Angel pull up a graphic or two.
Well, you're reading my mind. That is exactly what I'm doing right now.
So
he actually did. They covered him on CBS Sunday Morning recently.
Did they?
Yep. April 19th, they did a CBS Sunday Morning.
Wait, yesterday?
Apparently so.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's awesome. As well they should have. He's so talented. And as an illustrator, he has...
Look at this painting he just did.
He has checked so many boxes. Here's a painting. This is oil paint. Look at all those types of faces, all those skin tones. He is unbelievable. Now, I first became aware of Kadir's stuff when I was just getting started in children's publishing. My editor at the time, Kevin Lewis, also was working with Kadir, and I was just gobsmacked at his talent. He's so unbelievably talented. But as I was saying, as far as like illustrator dreams, the things when you're an illustrator that you dream of doing, he's done almost all. Magazine covers, huge like the New Yorker, he's done.
Here's a cover of National Geographic.
He's done the cover for National Geographic. He did Drake's album cover. He did Michael Jackson's album cover.
Wait,
he's done
stamps.
He's done stamps. He's done so many of the things I've dreamed about doing. He has done, and done them at such an unbelievably talented level. I'm proud to know him. And
check him out on CBS Sunday Morning. It just aired. I didn't know that.
Just
Yesterday.
a really nice guy too, and that's.
I'm sure you could find it online.
Yeah,
Unbelievable.
I'm sure he's on all social media. He's on Facebook. You can find him on Facebook. He's on Instagram, and he posts fairly regularly. And
his
he's on
New Yorker
Twitter.
covers are amazing.
Yeah, he's just an unbelievable talent. So.
Yes, he did do the art for the Undefeated. That he won the.
Oh, did he? Oh yeah, he got that Caldecott. He won the Caldecott this year. I want to say yes, all long overdue and so well deserved. Such a just an unbelievably talented individual, and proud to know him. So yeah, he's someone I've always admired.
Jason
much so.
Stone wants to know, when you get artist block, how do you overcome it?
Dude, I just don't
Thanks,
get
Steve.
it. I wish I did. I wish I could tell you I get this question a lot. I just don't get artist block that much. I have the opposite. I'm usually like, oh my God, I got so much stuff I want to do, and when am I going to do it? I mean, if I need to be inspired, I'll pick a thing that I love to draw, which is why you guys see so many posts of like, I drew Dungeons and Dragons this morning, because I'm just getting inspired or getting warmed up by drawing something that I just love. So if there's something that you love, like you're like, I love dinosaurs, I love spaceships, I love people, I love clothing, whatever the thing, cars, whatever it is, go draw that, and it'll get your brain and everything moving and grooving. And if you don't, and the final note on that is, and if you're not feeling it, copy someone who does it really well. Go do a copy. Go do what we call in art school master copies, where you're copying a master. So you're like, oh man, I just really want to, I want to go, I tell you what, I just got one that I'm slowly working on. Hold on, I'm going to grab it.
Did you do a warm-up today? Steve
I did a
asked.
little sketching. Yeah, a little sketching.
Amanda Putnam Palmer, yes, you said I love horses. I feel like you have that thing that's like your comfort food. That's your go-to, right? And you're like, oh, I know this. I can do this without the pressure on myself. You're just doing it because you love it.
Yes. So here, like, I Googled hands, and I found this Disney animator kind of guide to hands. And I'm like, I'm going to draw all these hands. I'm just going to slowly, over the next couple of weeks, just copy these hands. Like, I'm going to put my hand in those positions. So that gets me so inspired, because I love drawing hands, and I love so how much emotion they convey. So maybe it's something like that. Just Google it.
You tell them what it is. Snack time. How?
It's popcorn with shaky cheese.
Nice.
Snack time.
I'm good right now, so if they don't want to hear me crunching in their ears while I'm busy painting.
Hold that one.
Soph has a piece of art that she worked on over the weekend that she wanted to show everybody. She's going upstairs to get it.
Nice.
Add the popcorn to the junk pot.
Where am I at with this, Ange? I feel like I'm I gotta do, there's some spots. I'm gonna go back to my
We have to.
oh yeah, let me zoom out.
You want to tell them what it is, Soph?
I did a picture of Pippin and Mimi
Those are our two dogs, in case you are new to.
because we reorganized where they're eating.
Yes.
So we wanted to have a little picture for them.
She wanted them to be able to see art while they eat.
So she painted and drew them watching a sunset. That's Pippin right there, and that's Mimi right there. And this, we put a little nail above the wall, above their food dish, so that Mimi can see her and Pippin.
Look at all the hearts, Soph. Everybody
Yes,
loves it.
so awesome. We love it so much. Very, very cool.
So awesome.
I
I like that you also did the cutout of the dog separate from the sunset.
Yeah, what was the thinking behind that, Soph?
I just didn't want to draw the white on top of the other colors.
Once you had done the sunset. It's cool.
Angela grabbed a new color that was not in the color study. This is burnt umber. So we used a lot of raw umber in this one. This is kind of the brown that I like to use. It's a cooler brown. This has got a little more red in it, as you can probably see. Maybe kind of, sort of. I don't know. But I'm thinking of that. And I'm looking at the color study that we did on the 14th. Remember that? Feels like it was yesterday, but it was, almost a week ago. So I'm going to do this little dot. I'm going to do some of these little dots here. She's got some dots along her forearm. And I'm thinking about putting this really kind of red in here. So kind of cool to see, you know, we're pretty close to what the color study was, right? And so all that mapping, and I put some extra notes in here, more green, less ivory, more bluish. Strengthen the yellow at the edges. I think I've done kind of a lot of those things. So I also had a note here on the legs to repeat the pattern in the forearm, but this was before we gave her shoes, so I'm not sure if I'll stick with that or not. I'm still not 100% on these shoes. I have to figure them out. They're kind of a big question mark. But I'll get there. Part of me is thinking they should be these shades, this kind of blue. Maybe repeat that blue down here. Might be the way to go. We'll see when we get there. Anyway, I'm going to do these spots. So I'm going to add a little burnt umber to my ongoing. The other thing is, this is an ongoing mix. So before it was ash blue and umber, and then I added some Naples, and then I added some ivory, and I just keep adding color to it. And now I'm going to add some of this burnt umber to it. And there we go. See, very red. Very red. Nice red brown. And it doesn't seem that dark until you brush it onto pure white, and then you're like, whoa, that's a dark brown. So I'm going to use that really quick. I'm going to do some of the things on her wings.
Ooh, pollen puffs on the shoes.
Yeah, they need something.
They need something.
That.
Almost like you did on
Tinsel. But very Tinkerbell, right? She kind of has the pom-poms on her shoes. Actually, speaking of Tinkerbell, I've been thinking about that book, Ange, that we found when we cleaned out your studio, your office. I'll have to show that off later in the week. That was an awesome book.
Yeah, since I was doing that Instagram takeover for High Five Books, I wanted to clean up my office, my studio a little bit upstairs. So if you go to that High Five Books page, you can see I posted what my studio looks like. Mm-hmm. And I cleaned out a bunch of my shelves, and we found this awesome art of Disney's Little Golden Books. I'm a huge Little Golden Books fan. Tony is too. And then the fact that you got Little Golden Books, but Disney Golden Books. You got like Mary Blair's
subset
art
of
and
Golden Books.
So many cool artists and a lot of great stuff in there.
Very, yeah. I've been poring over it for the last yesterday and this morning when I was having breakfast and my coffee, and I just started reading it. I was like, I'm going to read this. I want to learn all about it, because apparently they used some of the actual, well, I guess like Mary, I mean, they used some of the actual Disney concept, the production artists actually, it went on to illustrate. And there was a whole, I just glanced at this, Ange, and we'll have to show it. They had this,
the link too.
They had this whole theory about, they really didn't want it to look like a still from the movie. This was like a thing from Walt, where he did not want it to look like a still. He wanted it to feel like the movie, but not look. So they came up with this, they called it 2.5D, which is they would draw it.
I just put a link, by the way, so
Cool.
you guys can see the book that we're talking about.
They would draw it like it was like a cell from the movie, but then they would paint it more dimensional so that it felt like it was more a moment. Anyway, kind of interesting. I'm looking forward to spending more time with that book. And the History of Golden Books is a great book. I want to say it's called Little Golden Legacy.
Mm-hmm, it is.
And that's a terrific book too. Really fascinating look into the history of Golden Books. Why is all that important? Well, in some ways, it is relevant because golden books, and these Disney books in particular, find their success in the 1930s during the Great Depression, which is actually really, I find very interesting, that during a period of economic hardship, these things were able to thrive. Yes. That's definitely that. Just do that for 10 years and you now have the Great Depression.
Oh my gosh.
And hopefully we won't be entering that. I'm slightly worried that we might be hitting some economic rough spots coming up. I'm trying to be optimistic when I say things like rough spots, but anyway, kind of interesting to me.
Sorry. That's my fault. I was plugging my phone. I'm low on the juice for my phone. Gotta plug this baby in so I don't lose my charge. Are we talking about the Black Cauldron? No, actually talking about the art of Disney's art of little golden books book. I posted a link to it. Found it in my
library.
studio.
Yeah, we must have got it at, one of the book conventions and just brought, shoved it in our luggage, brought it home, and then that was the end of it. And hadn't really had time to really give it a good look-see.
Ooh, Robert Rogalski said they had a little golden book show here in Rochester Art Museum a few years back, and you got to see a lot of the original works. That's awesome. We've seen some of it come through the Eric Carle Museum.
Eric Carle Museum is definitely, they did a little golden exhibition at one point.
I think
And
it
might have been the same show. Could have been. It was terrific to see a lot, like the color kittens and a lot of that original stuff, all done in gouache. I was going to do spots on this, Ange, and I don't like it, so I'm lifting it back.
Would we be able to get that from High Five? That's a really good question.
Ooh.
I can ask if she can get that book.
That's an artsy specialty book, but you never know.
Let's see.
If you like those things and grew up on them, and I'm just a big fan of that era, the 1930s, and a lot of the art from that time, as well as many other. I try to find what's intriguing and inspiring in the different decades of bookmaking and art making. I'll pump up the shadow here a little bit with this arm. We talked about this. This was Ange's catch early, was to just dolloping a little bit of brown in here. Give it a little extra. Push that arm out.
Ask her.
That's a great idea. Ange, I haven't done her lipstick yet, so you have to let me know if there's a lipstick color, or a lip color, I should say, that's worth looking into here.
Okie dokie. I'll find out the answer for you on that to see if we can order those from High Five. That's awesome, Emily, that you would ask that.
My next thinking.
Does she have a name yet, Molly Partridge asks?
This fairy?
Yes.
No, I keep just referring to it as a Spiderwicky orchid sprite. We haven't really given it a official name. As Arthur Spiderwick will tell you, this thing could look like this one day and completely different type of sprite another day.
Ooh, is it still in print? It looks like mostly used copies. That's a good question.
Ooh,
Let's
wow.
see.
Was it that old? These specialty art books don't always have a long shelf life, and I speak from experience.
Yeah, you're right. That is a used one.
I speak from experience.
Let me see.
I'm going to try the ruffles here. I'm going to try going to a pure ivory to give it a little dimension. Let's see what we get here. Not be
She
bright.
said, how many copies would you need? I do like her without lipstick too, Robert, I think.
I can do just a skin tone. I mean, it's brown right now. It's just the brown of the pencil. I could, just literally just put a little tiny touch of flesh.
Yeah,
fleshy,
I think
pinky.
it's just a little fleshy.
And then that's it. Yeah.
I don't think it's
Yeah, that's
or
fine.
just a very tiny tube of lipstick.
Oh, yeah.
I purchased art books from my library, and I would love to add it.
Oh, that's cool. It's a good one. If you like it, if you like the history of these things, which again I'm fascinated by. Looks like they tracked down some of the original art too, and did beautiful high-res scans, which is kind of cool.
Let's see.
There we go. That's what I like. So just putting a little bit of lighter highlight on, not all of it, just on some of these edges right here, just to give it a little dimension. Is it out of print?
She said, looks like a Hachette title. They're fulfilling via Ingram, so it might take a bit. Doesn't look like it's available on Bookshop, sadly. So Bookshop, so you guys know, Bookshop. I believe it's bookshop.org or .com. Let me double check on this. So many things. Bookshop.
So a wholesaler?
No, it's something that they're offering for the independents right now. So you can still order and support your independents as opposed to going to an Amazon.
Oh, nice.
Yep, bookshop.org.
Does it have it?
Support local bookstores, shop online with Bookshop. So this is actually what our publisher is recommending.
Oh, so it's like what IndieBound probably once
Yes,
was.
it's basically, and they're raising money for local bookstores. So, you know, I know a lot of people, if you're ordering Amazon as your go-to for books, or you don't have an independent near you, you can still order and support independent bookshops by going to bookshop.org. So let's see. Okay.
It's showing up or not?
She said it looks like it's out of stock indefinitely.
Oh, yeah.
But, yeah.
Well, one to track down. And see if Stuart Ing has it. He specializes in these kind of art books. It seems like
We'll check afterwards and then
post. He's the one who, like, if you know, I still get people that are like, I never picked up Realms, and Stuart must have just loaded up. He still has copies of Realms for sale.
But you know what? If you want any of Tony's books and you want to get them signed, or my books and you want to get them signed, you can order them from High Five Books. And because it's a local bookshop, we can go after all this is over and autograph and personalize any books that you guys order from them.
Yeah, happy to do it.
So we want to support them. And
Yep.
of course we want to get you guys some signed books if you want some.
Yeah. So I just put a little bit of highlight on the...
Do you guys have original Mary Blair work?
Yes.
We do.
We have some pieces by Mary, yeah. We have... And we do have an unused piece from I Can Fly.
Yes, we do.
That's
One
a
of my
pretty stellar...
treasures.
Yeah. Yeah, Ange was a big Mary Blair fan early on, before you really started, but really before I feel like she became very
Before CalArts
really
started like
teaching the Mary Blair style that Pixar, you know, so many Pixar and Disney movies have adopted.
Yeah. I mean, we purchased our first piece of Mary Blair art before Soph was born. I want to say like maybe 15 years ago. We bought
original from Alice in
an
Wonderland.
Alice in Wonderland
We have a couple.
piece was our first piece.
We have a couple of her concept pieces from Alice. We have a couple from
Yes.
Cinderella. We have, I know, one from Peter Pan. I think we only have one. Peter Pan stuffs. And then as we were collecting, Ange was getting all these amazing emails from, you know, art dealers who now realized there was somebody paying money for these pieces of art. And we got like a deluge of offers you know, hey, I've got Mary Blair art and some of it was bought from Widows of the Nine Old Men. I don't know if we got any of it through her son, but apparently there was a time in from what we understand in Disney history where they were allowed to take some of the artwork from the studio, which I'm sure is not the case ever.
Well, what would happen is they had
and Mary,
people would just kind of check it out. Basically, they would like bring it home.
Yeah, so Mary had a bunch of her original art, and she sold it at one point, and so that's kind of how the market. That's why there's so many of her pieces out in the market right now. It's readily available at auctions. I see it on auctions all the time. Heritage Auctions being one of the big auction houses.
You guys, I just sent you a link to High Five Books. They have some of our books in stock right now, so she can ship what's in stock in the store.
Nice.
Otherwise, she is also saying that through them, I think you can shop at bookshop.org. They will still benefit from those sales if you
cool.
follow that link.
Yep.
This is a brand new, this is an awesome store. It's an independent children's bookstore, but they also teamed up with a local art instructor. So they offer arts classes, crafting classes. They play Dungeons and Dragons. This is just like a great creative space in addition to being a bookstore. And they just opened recently. So we really want to support them while they're trying to weather all of this. As we know, of course, their economies or their business is being affected. So,
Yeah.
Good question if they ship internationally. I just sent that link, highfivebooks.org. And then what can happen is, I think she can send you what they have in stock. But if you want something signed that they have in stock, we can arrange for that. If you want to order it, I think she can get it after all this is done, and then we can sign and personalize.
Nice. Very nice. Oh, John Gorsica's watching, a.k.a. FedEx John, our FedEx guy. Hi, John, I hope you're doing well. FedEx John, I hope you and your family are safe and hanging in there. We miss you. And I'm going to guess that FedEx has been, I don't know, FedEx has either been really busy or probably really quiet. I don't know. I'm curious, FedEx John, how that's going. Ange, I got to tell you, I feel like I'm nearing the end. I'm going to get a little of that color for her lips. Let's see, I'm going to use a little tiny touch of burnt sienna, and I'm going to mix it right there with my ivory.
It's looking good.
And
awesome, and
I'm going to just touch it right on her lips.
I'm so glad to hear this. Lexi from High Five Books said she can ship anywhere, including internationally.
How about that?
So we will make that happen.
Let's see if we can...
Thank you guys so much. I know all of these businesses, everybody's working so hard to try and sustain themselves right now.
There it is, a tiny little touch just there. And just so you get an idea, here's my fingernail next to her head, just so we can you get an idea of it. But I just put a little bit of that peachy in her lips there, Ange.
Yeah, I see that.
Just a little bit,
Yeah.
just to give it a little something, something.
Like a modern mime.
She's like a Perot. Not Ross Perot, but a Perot. I'm going to do the same. I got to get right in, a little bit of work on her hands. Now, sometimes I do this work in pencil because it's just easier.
Ooh, Umbria Bloom.
But more often than not, I try to do it with brush. I'm going to try to do this with her hands. Just a little.
Did you get a nice view of Tony's ear? Let's see. Will you be doing prints of this piece?
Unsure.
See how it comes out?
Yeah, unsure only because my printer. I've got printer heads that are clogged right now, so I've ordered some stuff. I've tried just about everything to fix it, and so my next step, what I read is to literally run the clean cycle like 5 times in a row, and it said this is going to use up a ton of ink, but this is from people who actually clean printers for a living. They're just like, you need it. Just I don't run my color printer that often, and so consequently, there's a couple colors that aren't printing at all. So I know how to do some of the cleaning techniques with the cleaners, and you rub it underneath the print head and all that stuff. So if I can get it going, maybe we'll do a very limited run of prints. We'll see. I'm going to do that little reflection in the water droplet. Now in the photo reference, Ange, the water droplets have these tiny little dots. Ugh. They all had these kind of little dot highlights. I feel the urge to not do that. I feel like I want to do a bigger dot. So I'm going to try it out. We'll see how it looks. I can always rub it out if it doesn't work. So I'm going to use titanium white. I'm going to just go straight for a nice bright white.
Pencil is in graphite? Somebody said?
What?
I guess you were talking about pencil before. I'm sorry, I popped out, so I'm off of the conversation.
Chain?
Emily Juster said, have you tried to clean the printer heads with alcohol?
Emily, yeah, I have I've read a lot. I've done a lot of homework on it over the last couple of weeks. Ange will tell you because I'm always yammering on about it. And I've had special cleaners and fluids sent to the house. You know, one was ammonia-based, and then I found out you're not supposed to use ammonia-based. I've heard Windex works. So I'm going to try this method that I've seen that just said literally just run the print. One said don't run the cleaning thing more than twice because you're going to make the problem worse. One said, you know, as I said, this one these guys fix these Epson printers for a living, specifically the one I have, and they're like, you need to run the cleaning cycle like 5 times in a row to really loosen this stuff up. So it is.
Well said. Sometimes you have to pull the print head, clean it with a Q-tip dipped in alcohol.
Yeah, I'll see. You know, at a certain point, you're just like, okay, at what point do I just get in?
But it's pretty new printer.
It's not that old of a printer. We just don't run it that often, and I do use it when I'm on my kids' books. I mean, and it prints beautiful prints. Ugh. We'll get there. I'm not worried. Yeah. I'm not fretting. Anyway, the other thing you see I'm doing now is I'm taking the titanium white pretty much straight out of the tube, Ange, and I'm just going around. And what I can, and I can,
zoom in on that.
Yeah, let me find a good spot where I got to do it. I'm gonna the ruffles of the sleeves.
David House said, "Do you have any published D&D art that's actually yours or your friends' characters? Like, did somebody paint your characters?" No, actually.
Do I have any published D&D art that's me or my friends' characters? No, I've drawn my character and my friends' characters, but I don't think they're in like books or anything like that. I'm in a bunch of the old, Ange and I are in a bunch of the old Planescape books. There's cameos by us all throughout those, but I think as far as like this is my halfling.
We love art. It's also such a cool thing because we love trading art. I should say I love that we get to trade Tony's art with people. So trade art with friends. We bought our first piece of original art probably about 20 years ago or more when we were living in New York. And it is so cool to just be able to see, like, even if you just go to art fairs or art shows and you can afford to purchase even just a small piece of original artwork, it is so cool to see original art. It makes me so happy to know another artist created that work or their hands touched that paper and created those images.
Yep, I feel the same way.
Like, it's so cool to look, and we love Mary Blair's artwork, and then to have a piece, to have her art hanging on the wall is having a piece of her energy in our space.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, and there's not a day that doesn't go by where I don't look at some kind of art that we have hanging on the walls and smile. It really delivers constant inspiration for me.
Robert Rogalski said, "I am still sending you a sculpture." What?
Whoa.
Do you have to move in for like 6 months when you install that tree or what?
So you can see I'm taking titanium white. I'm just kind of going around some of the edges and cleaning them up. I could do this digitally. I mean, I could, but I'm not.
I love that white.
Yep, so I just take it. I need a little more here, actually. And,
Ooh, you have one of Tony's magic cards, the original art? Which one? Mike Jackson.
Oh, I recognize that name. Yeah, Mike's been a fan for a long time. Curious. I don't have much of my magic art left. Most all of it, like my Dungeons and Dragons art, a lot of it's gone. But the magic's really depleted. I really don't have a whole lot of that.
Robert said, "No, that you paid for."
Going around. This definitely takes a steadier hand. But if I mess it up, I can either wipe it away or come back in with a another brush.
There's something about when you add this white, it just looks so solid on the page. And that silhouette looks so strong.
Yeah, just see, I just kind of...
Lenahan was like, you did magic cards? What?
Oh, yeah, I did a lot of Magic the Gathering cards.
And
All through the
Dungeons and
90s.
Dragons.
Yeah, all through the 90s. Ange posed for a lot of them.
It's really interesting because I saw it happening a lot at the Norman Rockwell exhibit. Tony's art was exhibited at the Norman Rockwell Museum. They did a retrospective a couple years ago. And hearing people walk through, I would just kind of, walk around and listen. And to see people who maybe were fans of Spiderwick realizing that you did magic stuff, or people who are magic fans realize that you did the Spider and the Fly. I think you've now been an illustrator for almost 30 years
Almost, yeah.
And so you've just done a lot of different stuff in that time.
Yeah.
And also now it's been multi-generational.
Yeah.
So that was neat to see parents who were like, I'm Dungeons and Dragons fans of your work, connecting with their kids who are, fans of Diva and Flea or something. It's cool.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just getting to do...
Or Wandla. And it went to the Mint Museum. Yes, correct.
It's the same one, yeah.
Let's see. Charity Munez's son, 12-year-old, wants to know, what's your favorite magic card?
That I painted?
Yeah.
I love... it's a funny little card. First of all, I'll preface it. Most of my cards are pretty lousy as far as spells and effects, and they're not that great. Except for Brainstorm, I think apparently is one of the more powerful cards. But I have Ange posed for a few, and I have some of those cards still, those original paintings that you posed for, including my very first one called Urborg Mindsucker that you posed for years and years ago. And my favorite of all, though, is a card called Goblin War Buggy. And it's exactly what it's this is like vehicle that this tubby little goblin is constructed out of a barrel. And it just has my sense of humor, and it's just one of those things I always loved how it came out, and it really captured the way I view games. It had the playfulness that I try to put in all these, and the cartooniness and the silliness. I'm gonna cut these shoes out, Ange, but I'm gonna still go in and paint them. They're not done. The jury's still out on these, but I just want to delineate them a little more. So yeah, Goblin Warbucky is definitely one of my favorite cards.
Mike Jackson said it's called Inviolability. Dude running with a cloak with two creatures in the background.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. That was a set where I did a lot of cards, and I don't remember what the set was, but I do remember some of those decks. I did a lot of painting. I'm staggered about how much these cards are now worth. The going prices for Magic the Gathering collectibles, including the artwork, is unbelievable. Really neat to see. That's a little bit of pure white on the flowers, not much. Just a little bit. A little extra here. What are we doing on time, Edge? I don't have my watch on.
Oh, it's 4:23. Went over.
Oh my God, we're way over.
We are
wow,
way
I had
over
no
today.
idea. We're just chugging along. No wonder. I'm like, wow, feel like we've been...
Jen Junkie said, I was hoping you'd say Goblin War Buggy.
Aww. Yeah, it's a favorite.
We had our studio assistant, Grace Demaray, was obsessed with Goblin War Buggy.
She did like that one.
She liked it. She lost her mind. Like, when she got here, I think it was the first thing she was like, okay, so me all the things that I need to do working here. Can you show me Goblin War Buggy?
Can I look at art?
Can I see that
Can I see art, and particularly that piece? Okay, dude, if that's the one you want to see. I'm always really tickled by that. It always just... It's like when Pat McHale came to visit guy who created and animated. He worked on Adventure Time and of course our favorite, Over the Garden Wall. And Pat came to visit, geez, a couple of years ago.
Frozen Shade is me, Carolyn.
Yes. And he just sat and looked through the D&D drawer, the art in the D&D drawer for like an hour. He just sat. I just left him to it. I mean, we chit-chatted, but that's what he wanted to do. And I'm like, go, man, go.
Wait, there was somebody else who totally lost their mind. Who was it? Oh, Brian Selznick.
No, Brian Selznick was... We were showing him the art we had collected when he came to visit. Brian being another incredibly talented children's book author and illustrator, most famously known for the invention of Hugo Cabret, made into the movie by Martin Scorsese called Hugo. And he came with...
And also just re-illustrated the Harry Potter books.
All the Harry Potter covers, that's correct. That's right, of course. How could I forget that? And Brian came to visit one time with his husband, and we were kind of giving them the 5-cent tour and showing them all the art we collected over the years. I think with the hope that we could butter him up and try to get a piece of art from him. And he's looking at all the art. Oh, that's nice. Oh, that's cool. Oh yeah. Oh, you have a piece by that person. Oh yeah.
Harry Potter covers. Yeah.
And then he saw that we had an original from the old monster manual from the 70s. I have the Pseudo Dragon, which is the... If you're an old D&D fan, you know that piece very well. And he lost it. That was the piece that he was like, you own this? And I'm like, yeah, I got it years ago at a convention. And that was it. Remember that, Ange? That was it. That was the thing that impressed him.
You guys, shout out to High Five Books. They are actually on right now. Watching.
Nice.
Hanging out with us.
While we're painting fairies.
Yes. Awesome.
And Ange.
Lexi is here. Thank you, Lexi, for letting me take over your Instagram today. That was high risk.
Yeah, high five. Go to high risk. That's funny. Because of course it is. I'm going to do a little tiny touch around the water bead. Let's see if I can do it and not mess it up, Ange. And I think we'll call it a day. Tomorrow, we're going to start that Kenny and the Dragon marketing piece.
Yes.
That's going to go on for the rest of the week, and that's going to be followed by artwork for the Kenny and the Dragon box set sleeve, which I'm so super stoked that Simon & Schuster was cool about. That they were like, yeah, you can share that.
That is awesome.
Because I think you guys are going to learn a lot of like the way that's going to be is, I'll talk and work, but it's going to be like work. Not this is just me.
Well, those characters. I mean, I'm not sure what you're gonna do. You have two of those two.
Okay, hold on.
pieces.
I got to get down on this.
I know you. I was looking at that. I'm like, you got to get in.
I got to get in on that. So make sure, is it on the screen? Because you're going to see the screen and I can't see it.
It is on the screen right now. You're gonna see some characters from Kenny and the Dragon, some familiar characters, but you're gonna see some new characters from the sequel, which will be really exciting, from Kenny and the Book of Beasts. And they're gonna be doing stuff, which will be cool. Like posing. So that'll be neat too, a neat lesson of like you're taking an existing character and then making them kind of pose and act and and so also some of the stuff we've done in the past, like anthropomorphizing animal, like all of that stuff, it's all going to be coming together.
All that stuff we've talked about, it's all going to... You just said that. Coming together.
Let's see. Do you know when the box sets were going to go on sale so I can pre-order?
No idea.
We just found out there was going to be a box set.
Everything's kind of in a crazy place, if you can imagine. But I think in a world where...
Can you put your fingernail next to that? I just want them to see. It's smaller than your thumbnail.
Yeah. Yeah, there's her face. I don't know if can you see her face?
You can barely see her. Yeah, you can see her face a little bit.
How about now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty close. I got my water droplet the way I like it. It looks like water. It's got enough blue in it. I put a little tiny bit of yellow in there. I'm going to let it dry. I don't want to mess with it anymore.
You guys, this was awesome. Good day.
It was a good day. It was a Monday. We're back in action. I think this fairy's done. We took it from... Hold on. While Ange finds the music to close us out and also to pick the junk pot winner, I just
Ooh,
want
the junk pot winner. Have to get on that.
So for everyone, you know, I could have just posted this finished painting one's like, I painted a Sprite today. And of course, I still got to finish her feet. I'll get there. But for everyone now, you realize that that involved loads and loads of sketches, including this sketch where we felt like we got something. By the way, look at her face there. I don't know what's going on. She just looks terrified. But you can see that. That was then refined into a much more refined thing. I'm not even showing you all the reference and inspiration we found, although here's the orchid, the Papio, Psychopsis papio, aka butterfly orchid. Then we did a bunch of color studies, which are all gone. They've been mailed to winners. This is the only one that remains. And now we have this, the final painting.
What's today's winner getting?
Today's winner will receive the color study.
We'll move this so I can see who's already been picked.
The color study.
Okay.
That, of course. Oh, okay. And I don't know, got some water drops. But I think the real prize here is the painted color study that we went. So
I know
it's
who I'm picking today.
all right. She knows. She's ready. She's got it.
For those of you who didn't get chosen, but today's winner is. Make sure I didn't pick him already. David Howe.
David Howe. Give it up for Mr.
David
Howe.
Howe. He's a valued commenter. He's a top fan. He's been a fan for years. David Howe.
David Howe.
Congratulations.
Or as Dumbledore likes to do that little, I still love that clap. I don't even know what that is. David Howe, you win the junk pot. You will win this color study. You will win this, and then whatever other stuff I can shove in an envelope and send off your way. David Howe, please direct message me your mailing address so I can get this out to you. I'll put it in the mail for you tomorrow. You guys are amazing. Tomorrow we start painting dragons. A dragon you know all too well because he's our logo, our mascot, Mr. Graham the dragon, and Kenny Rabbit. Some marketing materials that we'll be making for Simon & Schuster. And stay well. Be safe.
Thanks so much to High Five Books for having me take over your Instagram. If you guys need to order books, please order books from High Five Books, our books, or go to bookshop.org. Support your local indie.
Thank you guys for tuning in. We will see you tomorrow here on Drawn to Fantasy. It's fun for you and me.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Good day. Wow, we went a while, huh? An hour and a half.
It's awesome. Today was good.
It was a good one.
Hey, everybody was. I love everybody watching, hanging out with us.
It's pretty awesome. Oh man, I wonder if there's any of that popcorn left. It smells good. The dogs are happy.
The dogs are very happy. I'm happy. There's some of that cheesy popcorn I'm gonna go eat.
We were drawn to
Cheesy popcorn
fantasy
and popcorn.
All right, guys. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.